What's up, Facebook? It's your boy Trey Larkins with Wise Guys Sports. Everybody go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at Wise Guys _H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. Be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. It's Friday, June the 6th. And I know y'all wondering, like, why he got a hoodie on? It's raining outside here in Cincinnati. It's raining. So, you know, when it rains, it get a little chilly. Definitely got to have a hoodie or something that you can throw over your head if it's raining. But before I started my Friday night, I want to come on here real quick for a few minutes and talk about the NBA Finals and Aaron Rodgers. So let's talk about the NBA Finals. Obviously, the Indiana Pacers beat the OKC Thunder 111 to 110 last night in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. For the Pacers, Pascal Siakam had 19 points. Obi Toppin chipped in with 17 points off the bench. Miles Turner had 15 points. And for the Thunder, SGA led the way. He was balling. I believe he had over 30 points. And Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren both struggled. So my biggest takeaway from Game 1, and honestly, the only two stats that you have to look at from Game 1 that actually mattered was the turnovers from the Pacers and the points off turnovers from the Thunder. So yesterday, the Pacers actually didn't play well. They had 24 turnovers for the game, but the Thunder, on the other hand, only had 11 points off of those 24 turnovers by the Pacers. And so for me, I thought that was actually the biggest difference in the game. I thought the Pacers actually, from an offensive standpoint, they didn't play well, specifically in the first half. I mean, they struggled in the first half, and it was a turnover machine by the Indiana Pacers as a team overall. Like overall, they all were turning the basketball over. It almost seemed as if the moment was a little bit too big for the Pacers, and they had a terrible first half. And at halftime, the Thunder led 57-45 and had a 12-point lead going into the second half and pretty much controlled the game throughout. Like I thought the entire game, the Thunder controlled majority of the game. And the Pacers, from an offensive standpoint, they struggled in the first half. But in the second half, they started to play better, and they outscored the Thunder in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. And I believe in totality, the Pacers outscored the Thunder by like 13 points in the second half. And so they got it together in the second half, and they played some good basketball. And I was looking at the stat sheet. The Pacers have so many scores. Like yesterday, Pascal Siakam had 19 points. Obi Toppin 19 points. Andrew Nembhard and Tyrese Halliburton both had 14 points apiece. Miles Turner had 15 points as well. So they had a very balanced attack offensively compared to what the Thunder had. Even though the Thunder led the game throughout, SGA was pretty much the only player who showed up and played at an elite level yesterday. Chet Holmgren, he only shot 2 of 9 from the floor. Jalen Williams shot 6 of 19. So your second and third option combined to shoot 8 for 29 from the floor. I believe that's like 29%. So Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren have to play better for the Thunder to be able to win this series. And I just thought it was crazy how we got to the fourth quarter, and even in the fourth quarter, the Thunder seemed like they were in control. The Thunder seemed like they were in control, and they had a double-digit lead on the Pacers throughout the game. And I believe it was the fifth time this postseason where the Pacers overcame a 15-point deficit. Think about that. The Pacers have overcome 5 15-point deficits in this postseason alone. That is amazing. And that is a team in the Pacers who do not give up. They don't give up. And so I thought game 1 was interesting because the Thunder controlled the game throughout. And usually when teams turn the ball over against Oklahoma City, OKC usually capitalizes off those turnovers And those games turned into blowouts. That's how the Thunder had the best regular season record in the NBA and were the number one overall seed in the Western Conference. Because when you turn the ball over against the Thunder, they capitalize off your turnovers and your mistakes. And before you know it, you down 20. But yesterday, for whatever reason, the Thunder could not capitalize off of Pacers' turnovers. The Pacers had 24 turnovers for the game. You are not supposed to win an NBA Finals game turning the ball over 24 times. So if I'm Rick Carlisle and the Indiana Pacers, I feel amazing heading into game 2 Sunday night in Oklahoma City, because the Pacers, they can play better than what they played in game 1. They can play better in game 2. Seriously, 24 turnovers, you're not supposed to win an NBA Finals game. Luckily for the Pacers, they were able to win game 1. And shout out to Tyrese Halliburton. Every single round in the NBA playoffs, Tyrese Halliburton has had a big shot at the end of regulation to either win the game for the Pacers or send the game into overtime. So, man, what the hell happened again yesterday in the NBA Finals in game 1? And we got to give credit to Tyrese Halliburton, because Tyrese Halliburton has had a clutch postseason. He may not be the best point guard in the NBA yet, but he is making a legitimate argument to be the most clutch point guard currently in the NBA. Seriously, that brother is balling in a major, major, major way. I believe his game-winning shot was the first game-winning shot in the NBA Finals since MJ. So big shout out to Tyrese Halliburton. And you notice at the end of the game, the Thunder, they missed the shot, and the Pacers got the rebound. And I'm screaming at my TV for Rick Carlisle to call a timeout. Hey, timeout, 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 timeout. And this is probably why I don't coach, but Rick Carlisle, he trusts Tyrese Halliburton. He trusts his team in those clutch situations. And yet again, Tyrese Halliburton delivered for the Indiana Pacers. He delivered in a major, major way. And he got to his spot, shot the mid-range jumper. And unlike in the Eastern Conference Finals in game 1 of that series, this shot was a shot that Halliburton made with confidence, and it went straight in. In game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals, remember, it was a brick, honestly. It bounced up, and the Pacers got a lucky bounce, and it went in. But yesterday, he shot that game-winning shot with confidence. So big shout out to Tyrese Halliburton, man. Seriously. Like, he is putting on a elite clutch performance in the NBA playoffs. He has been balling, and he has definitely used the fact that we had people that were saying he's extremely overrated. He's used that as fuel and motivation, and he has the Pacers 3 wins away from an NBA Finals NBA Finals champions and win. Like, he has 3 wins away from winning NBA Finals. So big shout out to Tyrese Halliburton. Shout out to Naptown. I know they turned up there in Indianapolis. Man, it's been an amazing performance from Tyrese Halliburton in these playoffs. But the Pacers just have a balanced attack. They have a balanced attack. They had 5 players who had over 10 points, I believe. So big shout out to the Pacers. Game 2 is definitely a must win for the Thunder. Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams have to play better. They got to play better, because I thought SGA did all he could. That was not a situation in which SGA did not close. SGA hit some key shots down the stretch. The Pacers just didn't give up. They just didn't give up. But SGA was honestly the only member of the trio of SGA, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams that actually showed up yesterday. He was the only one that showed up. So you can't have in these NBA Finals games, you can't have your second and third option combining to shoot 8 for 29 from the floor. That's not going to cut it. That will not get it done. So Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams must play better in order for the Thunder to win this series. They are the overwhelming favorites. They should win the NBA Finals, but that was a big win for the Pacers yesterday. And honestly, for me, with the Pacers winning game one, that gives me a reason to believe that this NBA Finals will go the distance. Because I thought, and I said before game one, I said if the Pacers want to have any chance at pulling off an upset, they got to beat OKC in games one or game two. They got to get at least one of those two games in games one or games two. They got game one. So now, honestly, the Pacers are playing with house money in game two. The Pacers are playing with house money in game two, and maybe they want to be greedy and steal game two in OKC. I can't see that happening. I believe Mark Daigneault, SGA, they know the importance of game two. And I believe we will be going back to Naptown tied at one game apiece. But the Pacers are playing with house money in game two. And honestly, considering how the Thunder were overwhelming favorites, the Pacers are playing with house money overall in these NBA finals. They are playing with house money. Like, no one expects the Pacers to actually win the NBA finals. No one expects the Pacers to win the NBA finals. So they are playing with house money. And the longer this series goes, the more pressure will be on OKC. So they got to win game two in Oklahoma City Sunday night. It's a big game for Oklahoma City. But I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers real quick. Obviously, yesterday, Aaron Rodgers finally decided to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I was on IG earlier today, and I got on the Steelers Instagram, and they had this video of Aaron Rodgers highlights and talking about how great Aaron Rodgers is. And so I wanted to come on here and talk about the Steelers signing Aaron Rodgers and my thoughts on whether or not I believe the Steelers will be better with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. As I watched the Steelers celebrate signing Aaron Rodgers, as a Packers fan, all I could think about and think to myself was the Pittsburgh Steelers are getting damaged goods in Aaron Rodgers. And for me personally, I do not believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers upgraded at the quarterback position with Aaron Rodgers compared to what they had with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields last year. Last year, Russell Wilson, I believe he had 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, over 2,400 passing yards. Now, Aaron Rodgers on the flip side, he had 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, I believe 3,800 passing yards for the New York Jets. But Aaron Rodgers is well past his prime. His best days are behind him, and his best days were in Green Bay with the Packers. So, no, I do not believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers got better signing Aaron Rodgers. No, I do not believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers are now Super Bowl contenders, bringing in Aaron Rodgers and not re-signing Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be the exact team with Aaron Rodgers that they were with Russell Wilson. He is past his prime, folks. We got to move off of Aaron Rodgers and accept the fact that his best days are behind him. And the thing is with Aaron Rodgers, not only is he no longer great, he's also a diva. He's a diva. It's a lot that comes with Aaron Rodgers being your quarterback. Us Packer fans know it all too well. We know it all too well. And I'm going to be real. As great of a career that Aaron Rodgers had with the Green Bay Packers, I am so happy that Aaron Rodgers is no longer the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, I am happy that Jordan Love is my quarterback currently, and it's not Aaron Rodgers, because Jordan Love doesn't come with the drama that Aaron Rodgers comes with. He doesn't come with all of the outside noise that Aaron Rodgers comes with. Jordan Love picks up his lunch pail and he goes to work and is honestly performing the best way he possibly can. He doesn't have a weekly radio show on the Pat McAfee show. He doesn't have questions about his leadership in the locker room. So, no, I do not believe the Pittsburgh Steelers got better by signing Aaron Rodgers. As a matter of fact, they probably stayed the same, and they'll win some games with A-Rod, just like they did with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. But to sit up here and say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are now on the same level as Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, or like Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, or like Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, that is absolutely ridiculous to say. And honestly, the Steelers will be lucky to make the playoffs, because I'm not so sure that the Steelers are better than the Browns right now. I'm not sure that the Steelers are a better football team than the Browns, and the Browns don't even have a quarterback. Right now in the AFC North, I would take the Ravens and the Bengals over the Steelers right now. I would. The Steelers, from an offensive standpoint, they cannot compete with these other elite teams in the NFL because they have not been able to get the quarterback right. As great as Mike Tomlin is as a head coach, and he is great. I love Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a Super Bowl champion, and he is a very, very well-respected NFL head coach. He's done a lot of great things for the Steelers organization. But the one thing that Tomlin has struggled to do since Ben Roethlisberger retired is get a competent quarterback that could take the Steelers deep into the postseason. And so that's the biggest reason why I never really took the Steelers serious as the Super Bowl contender. And then another thing that didn't make no sense to me, I thought when the Steelers traded for DK Metcalf, I thought they were going to pair Metcalf up with George Pickens. But they decided to trade George Pickens to the Cowboys. That move made absolutely no sense to me. Why in the hell would you sign DK Metcalf and not pair DK Metcalf alongside George Pickens? I was of the belief that George Pickens can learn from a DK Metcalf and become better as a receiver. But for whatever reason, the Steelers decided to trade George Pickens to the Cowboys. And so now you have one less weapon for Aaron Rodgers to work with. I thought if you have DK Metcalf and George Pickens as your two receivers in that Steelers offense, I thought that would be an offense that could be potent and could be pretty good. I believe in George Pickens from a talent standpoint. I got questions about his leadership in a receiver room, but I believe George Pickens is a very talented receiver. But I just didn't understand why they traded George Pickens to the Cowboys and you brought in DK Metcalf. That didn't make any sense to me. But just overall, in general, I don't believe the Steelers will be better with Aaron Rodgers. I believe that this is a move that should have been made 4 or 5 years ago. If the Steelers would have got Rodgers 4 or 5 years ago and paired Rodgers with Mike Tomlin, I believe that quarterback head coach relationship could have been in the same conversations as a Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh, or like an Andy Reid and a Patrick Mahomes. But this version of Aaron Rodgers is washed. He's washed. Can he have games where he puts up decent stats? Yes. But do I believe Aaron Rodgers can still carry you to a Super Bowl? I don't believe that's the case. And so I think this was a bad signing for the Steelers. I think the Steelers need to seriously consider going into the NFL draft and drafting them a quarterback. I don't understand why the hell the Steelers didn't sign Shedeur Sanders. Why did they not, draft rather? Why did they not draft Shedeur Sanders? I did not understand why the Pittsburgh Steelers did not draft Shedeur Sanders. I would have more confidence in the Steelers being a playoff team if they drafted Shedeur instead of signing Aaron Rodgers. I just didn't understand that. But those are my thoughts. Let me get out here and enjoy my Friday night. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Don't forget tomorrow and Sunday we got the 7 vs 7 showcase at West High, hosted by On Impact. 7 vs 7 showcase at West High, Saturday and Sunday, hosted by On Impact. And don't forget, each and every Monday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., the We Not Boxed In podcast with myself and Cincinnati Bearcats legend Melvin Levitt discussing the latest in sports news. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy y'all Friday night.